Hello everyone, I'm Vivek Atray. Today I'm going live on LinkedIn and YouTube simultaneously for the first time, so it's a landmark, I guess. And those of you who are joining me, this session is going to be in English. It's going to be for about 25 to 30 minutes. You can ask your questions to me simultaneously. I will definitely try to answer them. So we're talking about the big H and the eight C's. The big H and the eight C's. Just going to wait for people to join in for a minute or two and then we can start off. But before that, let me say that in this era of technology, in this era of webinars, live sessions, it is a pleasure to be connected in some way or the other with all of you. It's about 5 o'clock now, and we'll just let the clock tick for a little while more, and then we can probably go on to the session itself. Let me also say that having been the author of 3 books, it's fantastic that many of you have liked my third one, which is Finding Success Within. And Finding Success Within is actually one of the popular books nowadays in the self help realm. You see a logo of Finding Success Within on the screen here on the other side, sorry, the other side. And that is something which is absolutely very good for most young people. So let's begin with the session without any delay. And this session is about the goal of life, which is happiness. The big H is happiness. And what are the skills we require to be successful and happy in life? Our careers, our lives are closely linked. So the work-life balance means life in work and life outside work. Nowadays, that the lines have been blurred and everything is happening at home. There was a grandmother who was sitting with the boy who was studying, and she was scolding the teacher online. So, and the teacher's mom actually came on the other side, and then the grandmother of the child and the mother of the teacher had a nice, healthy argument. But the thing is that times have changed. The lines have been blurred. And with these lines being blurred, it is absolutely going to be difficult for us to segregate, to isolate, to differentiate between work and life itself. So if we don't have time or even the wherewithal to differentiate between these two things, our smartphone is always with us, our work is always with us. We have to be disciplined. And if we are disciplined, we will be able to do it, otherwise, we can't. And if this gadget is going to always be on and is always going to go on troubling us, and even when emails come, we are supposed to answer them at 6 in the morning, it's not so. We have to understand that working hours should be, let's say, 9 to 6, let's say 8 to 6, let's say 9 to 7. I mean, 10 hours perhaps, official working hours. Are we always going to be switched on? Happiness is going to be difficult to find. Okay, let's start. All of you who have heard me speaking before, you know that I emphasize on the fact that the goal of life is not success. It is not success. It is not satisfaction. It is not contentment. It is not achievement. It is not goal getting. It is not goal scoring. It is not the number of cars that you have, the money that you have, the fame that you have, the power that you have. It is actually about happiness. Why do I emphasize this point? I'm a practical person. I've been in an IAS career. I resigned from the IAS 3 years ago. I talk about motivation, inspiration. I'm a practical person who's saying that the goal of life is happiness. There are people like me in my class, I mean, my classmates who are about my age, and pros or CEOs who start thinking like this in this stage of life. If the goal of life is happiness, and if we can tentatively agree to this at the moment, how are we to attain that life of happiness? There is a movie called It's a Wonderful Life, and the person is about to jump into the river, and it is said that an angel comes in that movie actually, and that angel comes and says that let us give life a little bit of time. Let us see, why do you jump? Let me show you what would happen to the people who are close to you if you were not there at all. And he takes this person to the family who doesn't recognize him because he wasn't there at all. and he's invisible for most of the time. And the angel is able to show this man and convince this hero that life without you would have been totally sad and despondent for most people. Each person has a contribution to make. Anybody who's feeling low, anybody who's depressed, anybody who's going through fears, worries, apprehensions, anxieties, as the psychologists call them, is normal. Is normal. But if we see the bigger picture of life, ultimately, all those little things that we worry about, all those likes on social media that we didn't get, ultimately, they are not important. They're not important. What is important? What is important is family, it is our work, it is our quality of life, our sleep, our entertainment, our physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness. Maybe I said them too quickly, but you know these things. You know them very well. So let's get to the 8 C's, which will help us to attain happiness in life and success in life. Because success is a subset of happiness. Success is a subset of happiness. Happiness is the bigger picture. Happiness is body, mind, and soul working in unison. If you believe in God, I hope you do. If you don't, even then, if we are a conglomerate of body, mind, and soul, then we have to work for all three. We cannot work only for body and mind. So the 8 C's that I often talk about, and I'm going to throw in 2 extra C's today at the end, which are also actually worthy of considering. The first C is courage. Courage is something that we cannot do without. In the Bhagavad Gita, the first quality that is mentioned is fearlessness. All scriptures tell us, Nishchay kar apni jeet karo. What? We have to be determined. We have to be fearless. We have to be focused on the goal. We have to have faith. More faith means more fearlessness, less fear. More faith. Faith in whom? Faith in God, faith in ourselves, faith in family, faith in friends, faith in people we don't have faith in, faith in the goodness of man. There's somebody called Stan Dale, and he's got the best quote ever. And this quote is, I live as if everybody is my well-wisher. The vegetable seller, the dhobi, the neighbor, the landlord, the man on the street, the teacher, the long lost friend, the long lost enemy, everybody is my well wisher. So Stan Dale may be a perfectionist. He seeks perfection. But if we can adopt an attitude where we are not suspicious, not jealous, not building demons in the mind. Many of my friends I see online, thank you for your comments already. The point is that we are building demons and making imaginary enemies in the mind. So and so is against me. I'm worried. I'm fearful. He might harm me. My boss is against me. My colleague is against me. In the long run, he's going to try to get a promotion before me. He's going to put in some complaint against me. These are fears and worries which don't really exist, which won't come true. But what do? We sleep at night. We have listened to Arnab Goswami. We've listened to a very serious case which is going on nowadays. And we are spending so much time listening to that, watching that we cannot go to sleep without thinking about that and dreaming about that. Why don't we dream about something else? Think about something else. Do something else. So courage. Courage is the first C that I want to talk about. It's something that we cannot do without. Some people are more courageous than others. We cannot be perfectly courageous. We have fear at times. We are human. I hope you are human. But the point is that we need to build up our courage. Number 2 is character. Character. We are human. We will have flaws. We will have problems. We will make mistakes. There will be errors in our life. But in this erroneous life, in this spectrum of black dots here and there, are we largely trying to improve ourselves? Are we trying to become better human beings, more helpful to others? Do we have the character to do the right thing when nobody's watching? My favorite story was told by a former Chief Secretary of Punjab, R.I. Singh Saab, in a seminar at CII. I wonder if he remembers it, but I definitely remember it every time. He said, A person crossed a red light and the policeman was hiding behind the tree. He came out and stopped him and started to challan him. He said, "Didn't you see the red light?" In Punjabi, of course, but this is an English session. He said, "Didn't you see the red light?" He said, "No, sir. Of course, I saw the red light, but I didn't see you." When the police is watching, the teacher is watching, ma'am is watching, mama is watching, big brother is watching, and big brother is often watching. The point is that we have to be full of character at that time. We will make mistakes. We are not perfect. We are often imperfect. It is fine. We learn from our mistakes and move on. Young people who are watching this today, between the ages of 12 and 30, let me call them young millennials. These are people who need to not feel so guilty about what they've done wrong. Move on. Don't be depressed. Get out of that. Move ahead. Your character is good. Don't denigrate yourself, criticize yourself, torment yourself with these negativities. Get out of it. Number three, the third C is creativity. Creativity. Einstein said that creativity is intelligence having fun. Without creativity, what is the use of intelligence? What is the use of intelligence without creativity? Yes, I can calculate numbers, I can organize desks, I can do an event, I can do a lot of things. But I need to be creative in my life. It gives me joy, it gives me a certain way of doing things. I often have this story, and maybe my aunt and uncle are watching this from New Jersey, my Masi and Masarji, as we call them in Punjab areas, Mosaji in other parts of the country. So so Mosaji gets up a little early in the morning and he goes to work, or he starts working. He has breakfast at 8 o'clock, and Masiji doesn't wake up for his breakfast. She wakes up much later. And I asked her, I said, "Why don't you wake up for his breakfast? I mean, Indian ladies wake up before their husbands or at the same time." And I'm totally in favor of ladies waking up late. Don't misunderstand me. I don't want them to wake up before the men, but normally they do. What about you? She says, Arun, his name, wants to have one toast. He wants to have one glass of milk. He wants to have some cornflakes. He wants to put half a spoon of sugar in his milk, stir it about 4.5 times, and that's it. No creativity. Why does he need me? I mean, he doesn't want me to make poha, omelette, paratha, upma, idli, whatever. Feeling hungry now. The point is that there is no creativity in that breakfast. Of course, he's a very creative person, sends lovely messages. I want to make up and tell him that he's very creative. The point is that Masiji doesn't need to wake up for his breakfast. Creativity is the spark of life. You do new things. I became too creative for the government, I guess, but I was happy till I was working, doing new things. Fantastic. I felt good about doing new things. And these new things, all my colleagues who have been endeavoring to make a mark in life, to make an impact, to do new things, to do creative things within the parameters of the system, are people who are making a change. All these young officers of India, IAS, IPS, HCS, PCS, down the line in all parts of the country who have been handling this pandemic so well, doing so well, creatively, with ideas. Nobody was prepared. They're fantastic. Okay, number 4 is calmness. Calmness. People tell me you're calm. Well, after voluntary retirement, it's very easy to be calm. But the real thing was to be calm when you're DC or director of school education, or when you're a CEO, when you're a business person, a shopkeeper, a cricketer, a chartered accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher. Today's Teachers' Day, by the way. And kudos to all teachers. I wrote recently, teachers are the unsung heroes of the crisis. My congratulations to all of them. So all of you who can be calm, but are not calm because there are so many things happening, can be calmer. Calmer. Calmness actually improves our physical, mental, spiritual health. Physical, mental, spiritual health. If I am going to do something, is it not better to do it calmly than do it angrily? My team of 6, is scared of me, terrified of me, I'm angry, and they're doing the work because I'm angry, and the result is the same. But the other option is to be calm, to be cheerful, to be firm, to be encouraging, to be inspiring, get the same thing done happily. The body, the cells of the body are pretty much at ease. Your life is longer if you're calm. If you're calmer, your life is longer. Paramahansa Yogananda, author of the autobiography of a yogi, said, be calmly active and actively calm. I know all of you love this quote. You've heard it from me, but I quote Paramahansa Yogananda. He also says, carry a portable paradise within you wherever you go. In the midst of restlessness and muck and disturbance and the crash of breaking worlds, as he says, you are calm. Possible? Definitely possible. There are people who are calmer than you or me. Can't we be like them? They're human. There are people who are more restless, more negative, more scared, more fearful than us. They need to be like us. We need to be like those who are better than us. So let us try and endeavor to be calm. Calm people they live longer, they are more likable, they have more goodwill, they don't lose their temper too often. Anger management is a subject. I speak on it. Emotional intelligence is a subject. It's a topic to speak about. But it's so difficult to implement, I know. However, anger management can be done, calmness can be achieved. You have to be actively calm. The next one is cheerfulness. These qualities are not to be taken lightly. Don't take cheerfulness lightly. Anyone who's taking cheerfulness lightly thinks that this is, all goody-goody stuff, theoretical. No. A cheerful guy will do well in his career. I've been in the government, I've been in the corporate world, I'm an independent advisor and a motivational speaker and a professional speaker. A cheerful person will do better in his career. I've said that in 52 life skills. I know it's over here. No, it's over here. The logo. 52 life skills for young Indians. I say this, cheerfulness will help you in life. You will do better in life. You will be more liked, more popular. You will get your promotion on time. Your boss will be fond of you. You are working without complaining. Of course, at times you can feel low, you can crave, you can let out steam. Some people, they write journals. And young ladies nowadays, my daughter included, she writes a journal. And journaling, as opposed to journalism, journaling is a very popular thing nowadays. You write down your feelings, vent out your feelings, vent out your feelings. And those of you some of you know why I'm saying vent in this way, as opposed to vent. So you vent out your feelings on the notebook, and then you feel better, feel calmer, get over that. You feel cheerful. Cheerfulness is an asset. The next is contentment. The sixth C is contentment. Now, don't mistake me by saying that you can't be content and ambitious at the same time. You can be content and ambitious at the same time. Mark my words. You don't need to be frustrated to be ambitious. Those of you who are my seniority in life, those of you who are younger, mark my words. Frustration doesn't lead to any positivity. You are content with what you have, you are happy with what you have, you are grateful for what you have, and you want to do more and better. That's the way to be. If Virat Kohli has scored a certain number of centuries, he scores them so fast, even I don't remember how many. Do you think he was not happy 1 century ago? I mean, 1 century ago means when he had not scored this many centuries. Of course he was. He was content with that many centuries. And he is now happier. He'll be happier when he scores one more. Not frustrated. This is something we really need to learn. Contentment. And contentment also means equanimity, titiksha, which means that we are balanced in success as well as in defeat. Dhoni, MS Dhoni. Whether you're winning or losing, the countenance, the expression, the look on the face doesn't change. In his case, most of us are different. But if you have equanimity, you have titiksha, that means that you're able to maintain a balance. Very difficult, no doubt. But people can do it and they do it. So contentment helps us. Compassion is the next one. The seventh one is compassion. Those of us who think of others find our lives to be more fulfilling, more meaningful, more wholesome, more successful, more happy. Working for others, helping others, giving others love, care, attention. On a Sunday afternoon, after you've eaten your rajma chawal and whatever you've eaten, had a nap, and then you want to watch the TV. Okay, well, let's watch the TV. If we can sometimes on that Sunday take out time, spend 1 hour for an NGO, not donating money only, donating time, effort, maybe some tree plantation, maybe training, teaching some young kids, maybe helping others in some way or the other. Compassion for others means goodwill, means happiness. Compassion for others means social service. It means just being there for others. That friend who you can count on. I was listening to Chip Kheda. He's my distant uncle, by the way, and speaking runs in the family, I guess. But he was saying, and sometimes anyway. So he was saying that who will you count on in a time of crisis? You'll count on that long-term friend. You won't make new friends at that time. In the crisis, you have to count on the old friend. Call him up. He will be there for you. That is something that really matters. Compassion for others will give you friends who care for you when you need them. You are there for them. They are there for you. And then the eighth skill is paramount as a skill. All these C's of 7 C's, which I spoke about, most of them are qualities. The eighth one is a skill, and I cannot emphasize it enough. It is communication, yes, but it also means written and oral and even unspoken communication. Your body language, your smile, your personality, your aura, your vibrations. Mark my words. Your aura and your vibrations are not spoken. It is the effect you have on people without speaking. Magnetism, a magnetic personality. You develop it. People suddenly feel good vibrations in some people's presence and bad vibrations in other people's presence. Communication also means unsaid communication. Then listening skills. Listening to others carefully, looking them in the eye, not looking at the phone, not looking out of the window. Sometimes you have to look out of the window at webinars. I said in my talk on how to speak well in a webinar, but then that's when you're not speaking. You're listening, but you're looking out because the tree is there instead of the computer. Now, listening skills really matter in communication. Written skills, young people, practice 250 words. Write something on the elections, on the metro, on the climate, on the country, on Putin, whatever you want. Write them down. Then, being communicative also means speaking cheerfully, orating in some way or the other, getting your message across. You may be in English, you may be speaking in Hindi, you may be speaking in anything. You may be not speaking, as I said, but getting your message across. Meaning business, making a mark. And what you say from the heart goes to the heart. What you say from the heart goes to the heart. Preparing well, speaking well, knowing a little more. How do you get that? By reading books. Reading more books gives you that vocabulary. It gives you knowledge. It gives you information. It gives you perspective. It gives you thoughts. It gives you analysis. It gives you wherewithal to speak. Communication skills, working on them throughout our lives, not stagnating. Shashi Tharoor says he invented the word prepone in 1970 something. Earlier it was advanced, believe it or not. Postpone, prepone. Prepone he invented, he says. Earlier it was advanced. The meeting has been advanced to 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. learning new words. Shakespeare invented more than 600 words, which are there in the English dictionary. We don't need to invent words, you and I, but we need to utilize the vocabulary and lexicon which is available in the dictionary in whatever language we speak and use it capably well enough for us to communicate well. And not copy pasting too much, not cut pasting, copy pasting too much, what others have written, what others have said. Once state government was supposed to give a report to the government of India, and the state is landlocked. There's no water nearby, no sea. And the state copied the report from Goa, which is obviously nearby the shore. And everything was altered to suit the current state, and the state government sent a reply. But they forgot to change the distance from the sea, 0 kilometers. So when you're copying someone also, you have to be intelligent. And you don't need to copy. You just need to be inspired by someone and then formulate whatever you're saying in your own words. So these are the 8 C's that I feel we need for the big H, which is happiness. So what are the 8 C's? Once again, C for courage, C for character, C for creativity, C for calmness, C for cheerfulness, C for contentment, C for compassion, and C for communication skills. And I've got 2 more for you as a bonus, because these are also important. I remember these 8 C's because they're a part of me. I try to live them, and all of us have them to some extent. Not all of us have all of them to 100% extent. So what are the next 2? What are the new 2? These are also important. Competence is important. Competence. Competence means whatever I do, I develop capability in it. I develop proficiency in it. I develop exactitude. I develop expertise. I'm proficient at my work. I'm competent at my work. I need to be reliable in that. That is also important. And the last one, actually the 10th one, is credibility. And I have an uncle who says credibility is not a coincidence. Credibility is built up over the years. Reputation matters. Image matters. And it comes from competence. It comes from character. It comes from creativity. It comes from cheerfulness. Credibility is not something that is a coincidence. It comes from a life of work. And that's when we can be more happy. When people depend on us and we depend on them and they don't let us down. We have our own friends and our own circle. And I see a lot of my friends on this session already. I'll try and answer some questions now. So I've given you 8 C's and 2 plus. So that means 10 C's. So here I have a lot of comments, which means a lot of people are watching. Thank you very much for joining in. And thank you for all the accolades. Thank you. I see lots of, I'm not naming anybody because it's too many to name. They're all agreeing with me. Thank you very much for that. Sir, your physics class is very, what? Physics class is very faithful. Well, physics class is very faithful. What does that mean? Anyway, thank you very much for that. Happy Teachers Day to you all. Got one question here, which is, apart from congratulations and an insightful session, how do you inculcate positivity in every sphere of life and to see good in every situation? Not possible. Not possible to see good in every situation, but you don't collapse. As I said, Yogananda ji said, stand unshaken amid the crash of breaking worlds. The world is collapsing about you, but you are standing unshaken. Not easy. Not possible also. But you try. You try. You cannot see good in every situation and every person, but you minimize your negativity. You ignore certain slights, certain downs, certain criticism, certain ill words which people have said. Ignore them. Why are you lying awake and allowing somebody to control your life? Because he or she has said something to you. He has forgotten about it and gone to sleep. You are lying awake. Why did she say this to me day before yesterday? Allowing someone to control your life. And we try to forgive. We try to forgive. Forgiveness is a great quality. Forgiveness is something which makes you lighter, which makes you happier, makes you healthier. You don't have that blood pressure anymore. And then we come to excellent, great to see you. Thank you so much. What is the role of good pronunciation? Bhupendraji, you know more than I do. Question: how do you work on denial? Because one can only work on any of these 8 C's if they are in denial that they need to work on any of the C's mentioned. I get your point, I think. So basically, you are not facing the situation. If you are in denial, then you're not seeing reality. You need to turn the spotlight of introspection upon yourself. That means you are introspecting and you are seeing your own faults and you're seeing your own weaknesses and frailties. Then only you'll want to improve. If you deny that you lack anything, you are perfect to do, I mean, godlike, then there are no faults to make up. We have to be humble enough to turn that spotlight upon us. Great quality to be humble, to be introspective, to be understanding that we have faults. So I think you can do it. We can do it. And at times we succumb to the temptation of being, glossing over our faults. But at times we don't. We are now 31 minutes into this session, and like a one-day match or a test match, we'll be penalized if we go over time. I don't want to dock any overs or dock any fine as a captain of this session. Thank you for joining me, and we shall join again once more one day. And watch this session later as well, or share it on YouTube and LinkedIn or any other platforms that you like. Finding Success Within is my book. Please read it. The logo is at the top corner of the screen, and you can order it from Amazon. It has most of these C's. You can also listen to my talks and watch them on YouTube. I have to promote my own talks these days, but they're doing well. 3 million viewers, 3 million. So I must be doing something right. But thank you very much, all of you. All my friends, thank you. All the viewers, everyone else, thank you for your blessings. Thank you very, very much.